All right, check it out. The return of smoked brisket over at Chipotle. No, we're not going to do that. Chipotle. So we got Chipotle's smoked brisket. And I remembered in the back recesses of my mind, I've done, you know, only 3,000 videos over 10 years, something like that. But I remembered smoked brisket from Chipotle, and I looked, and sure enough, 2-3 years ago, something like that, they test marketed it in like Cincinnati and I think a couple other states, and then it went national. And back then, for the first couple days or the first week, you can only order it through the app, and then it was made available for everyone who comes into the establishment. This one, they're like, nah, we're not going to make people do that. So they just launched it this week. It's a little bit different. I read the specifics about this smoked brisket and compared it to the smoked brisket that I reviewed 2 or 3 years ago. It is different. It's in this bag in bowl form. We're going to check it out. Cue the intro. What is up, everyone? It is the endorsement, and it is time for another review. This is where I try something and tell you if you should like it or not. I can be very persuasive. All right, so back then, Chipotle's smoked brisket was charred on the grill, which I believe this one is, but seasoned with Mexican spices. And that's a... I'm guilty. That's a lot of napkins. But they go inside right here, and I was running low. Anyway, Mexican spices, including fire-roasted jalapenos and chipotle chili peppers, and it's hand-chopped every day. Now, that was a year ago, and again, I always tell you about the honey vinaigrette. If you don't get a side of honey vinaigrette, you are not Chipotleing. You're just not doing it the right way, because that thing is fire. All right. So, like I said, fire-roasted jalapenos, Mexican spices, and chipotle chili peppers. That was 2 or 3 years ago. That's a bag. A little twister. But in this right here, let's bring up the new one. Here we go. All right, so this year, the smoked brisket is smoked, chopped, hand-chopped, seared, and seasoned with garlic, cumin, coriander, and Mexican peppers. So I guess similar, but they aren't being specific about the what were the others? They aren't being specific about fire roasted jalapenos and chipotle chili peppers, but it is still with Mexican seasoning. So my guess is it's probably the same. I mean, but I just don't know why they just didn't copy and paste all of the information. So it's right here in the bowl, $12.99 for the smoked brisket, compared to the chicken bowl I could have got, which is still only $9.89 or $9.99 at my Chipotle. So you really can't see much going on because we have the steak under all of that. But I did get a side. I said, hey, can you throw a little bit of that smoked brisket into a little cup? They didn't charge me for it because I really wanted to taste it the way Chipotle intended. So we're going to mix this up. We're going to give it a taste. Smoked brisket, because they do the carnitas, they do the chicken, they do the sofritas, and what's the other one? What's the other protein that I'm missing? The standard chicken. They've come out with al pastor chicken or chicken al pastor, but they loaded this bowl up. I went with the cheese, I went with corn, I went sour cream, light fajita veggies, extra rice, no beans, and then the brisket. So I think I mentioned in the other video 2 or 3 years ago, there's not much brisket on here. I'm glad I got the little side. I mentioned in the other video that I would probably have preferred texture-wise the way that they do like their carnitas, the like shredded. If they did like shredded brisket, I think I might like that a little bit better. But let's see if they come correct with something a little better this year. But there's a close-up of what we're looking at. I'd share if you were here. Not this. I'd share my Chipotle bowl. There's not a lot in here to share, but they were nice enough to give me a small sample when I asked them to. So let's film the thumbnail. It'll only take me a second. We'll be right back for the taste test. Smoked brisket, back at Chipotle. Here we go. All right, so welcome back. I got the thumbnail filmed, and as you can tell, I got some of the brisket out from underneath all of the toppings for the thumbnail. So let's get right into it. They had some better pieces underneath, so we're gonna go right into it. All right, here is one of the pieces of brisket. Yeah, all right. Wish me luck. It looks a little dry, but I mean, with everything else going on here in the full bowl form, it's probably going to be better when you eat it with a spoonful of everything. But let's see how it stands alone by itself. Am I going to get the Mexican peppers, the garlic, the cumin, and the coriander? Let's check out the flavor. Let it marinate a little bit. It is definitely dry. The flavor's okay. The flavor's okay. 2 letters, okay. The texture I'm not loving, and it's all coming back to me from the one I did 2 or 3 years ago. If this was shredded with that flavor, I think they would have a winner on their hands. Here, I'm already, after eating that one little nibble of one of these pieces of brisket, I don't think I'd ever get this again. If that's a spoiler, I don't know what I'm going to rate this yet. I'm going to try it a couple times with scooping everything in, getting the full effect of the bowl, or you can get a burrito. But for $12.99, on how much I already know I enjoy the chicken, and this is similar texture to the chicken, but I'm used to that in chicken form. I just think in brisket form, I would have preferred it to be shredded. Flavor's pretty good. A little bit of a spice, not much. 2 out of 10 on any spice meter. But with all the other garlic, I love garlic. I don't think right off the bat I would recognize coriander. My palate, I don't think my palate would recognize coriander. Let's get a couple, pieces of the brisket on this spoon and go from there. Here we go. I mean, Chipotle bowls are good. All right, I will say this. Gotta be objective like I always am. It's better with the spoonful. It's better. You get the flavors of everything else, the sour cream, the rice, a little bit of the veggies. Check it out right there. That's going to be the next spoonful. Couple pieces of the brisket on there. That flavor is growing on me, but the texture is not. I don't think the texture will ever grow on me, but it really is better with the spoon right here, eating it like Chipotle intended, out of the bowl, not just nibbling on the protein. But that's what we got to do over here. We got to get you the correct flavor and the correct opinion on the flavor for the review. All right, let's go on a scale of 1 to 100, with 1 meaning don't even waste your money, and 100 being the promised land of. I'm going to give the returning, not new. I slipped up right there. The returning, that's what I'm calling it, smoked brisket from Chipotle, a rating of. I'm gonna go 80. I'm gonna go 83 on this, but I think it's in the high 80s to maybe 90 barrier if it was shredded. I think I really would have enjoyed that better, and it brought back all the memory of what I did 2 or 3 years ago, just based on the texture. I really can't remember too much about the flavor, so I'm definitely going to go watch my video. Maybe I'll have that linked at the end of this one or in the description of the one I did 2 or 3 years ago, or you could check out my Chipotle playlist and see what I thought about it then. But there you go, another review in the books. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, please do not forget to check me out on Instagram and Twitter. That is social media, getting the word of my channel out to the masses. In closing,